Alright guys, welcome back to BFS Bait Finish System here on YouTube and another informational video regarding Bassmaster 2022 and the legendary location. So no mucking around, let's just get straight into it guys. First up, we're taking a look at Basquatch, one of the legendary fish. And let's start up towards the top end of the lake. You can see around the bridge section here, both sides of the bridge and around this corner, he's been caught previously on the catch maps and over on this side at the top end of the lake as well. Moving down around these islands, this is a good spot for bass as well. You can catch other good bass in here. I've caught a bunch in this little channel here as well. Here's a really hot section where people have been catching Basquatch. You can see there's some good heat around there. That's probably been the most key area on this point here. And in this middle section here, in this deeper water, actually quite interesting, someone's caught Basquatch there. And you can see some of these other key kind of points sticking out on this edge here. This has always been like a good zone for bass as well. A few other areas he's been caught. Obviously the game utilizes like lines between certain points, so he's probably traveled between this point, this point, this point, this point. That's how the fish move around, so people have been catching him sort of on the move as well. Down here in this little section, this is a good section as well for bass. Obviously between these two islands, this is another well-known spot on the map. Also up in this channel here towards the top end, he's been caught quite a bit, so you can take a look at that spot. Moving down towards the bottom end of the map, this little spot here was where I caught one of my recent legendaries, so that's a good spot to check out. Moving around the bend into the main river, a few other spots here where Basquatch has been caught. Down here in this little inlet, and then back up the river. Of course, this is kind of a well-known spot as well, where the land comes through. There's actually land here, it's not showing, but on the point of this land where it sticks out, and on the side of the land you'll see when you're actually on the map. Surprising nothing in this channel where there's some good bass as well, but those are your key spots for Basquatch, so make sure you check out those. These are the heat map sections where he's been caught previously. Okay, so we move on to Big Dog. And a lot of these spots are going to kind of be repetitive because, as I say, the bass do move in lines between certain points. You can see both sides of the bridge again, and that corner, same part of the map as Basquatch. And further up, actually, he's been caught going into this little end here. Interesting little spot here where Big Dog's been caught. Back around these islands again, this kind of key spot. Love fishing this area, so no surprise that another one of the legendaries has been caught there. And around the other side of the island as well, you can see that this hotspot area for Big Dog has been an area where he's been caught. Back down here again, more activity, so that seems to be a really good spot for picking up some big bass. That'll probably play a part in the upcoming online tournament, depending of course when you're watching this video. A few other sort of deep water spots. Again, these points here, interesting that there's a couple of points further around where he's been caught. Nothing actually between these two islands for Big Dog. That's quite surprising. This area has been quite well known for some time, so good to see. And again, one of my favourite spots, again down on this point, is where he's been caught, and between this island and the mainland there as well. Interesting enough, Big Dog's been caught further into this channel here as well, and a few other points showing up. So of course do try these out if you haven't hit up these spots already. And we go back into the main river as well, another capture down there, and again this spot playing a key area in this deep water here. I think there is a little bit of shallow water actually that runs through here that comes off a point. Again, you can't see the land here, but either side there is deep water, so do take a look at that. Okay, on to bucket mouth, another one of the legendary fish. Let's go back up towards this top end. Again, both sides of the bridge in this corner, playing a key area in Guntersville. this area down here again providing another high intensity feedback of where bucket mouth has been caught, and again around these islands here as well. So these kind of 2 points really are going to be 2 areas that you really want to put some focus on. Interestingly enough, bucket mouth being caught around these points here and up here as well, so a little bit of variation. Again in this little pocket here, and again around this well-known section here as well. Down on the 2 islands, bucket mouth being caught a few times by people, and between this little island and the mainland once more, and again one of my favorite spots on that point there. We move around the bend through to the main channel, again these spots kind of being highlighted, and interestingly enough a key area here where bucket mouth has been caught on a number of occasions, and once more this intense area here being a point where he's been captured previously. Onto Bulldozer, and again no surprise, the bridge area and around the corner being a place around these islands once more. Again actually up on this little ledge here, just coming off. More action down into this point, again once more showing a key area that you want to be looking at for big fish. Again central deep water, so maybe moving between points, or maybe this is an area people are looking for offshore. Down in this little pocket again once more a place for Bulldozer, and again this key spot providing some good fishing. Interestingly enough, he's been caught sort of off the 2 islands, a bit off here and a bit more on the north side, and again around the smaller island has been a key point. Actually no action here, a few more points showing up, and again this area here same as per the last fish, and once more up here. Interesting enough, actually for the first time we see in this channel, of course some good fishing here before. Bulldozer actually has been caught there as well, so that's sort of reconfirmed my choice to make some fishing there. I think a lot of these key spots towards the top end, so close to the starting point, you know, people tend not to want to waste time, so they look to utilize these key spots. But of course in the main river, this area here has been another key one. Onto Des. Again we're seeing that same pattern around the bridge, actually further up as well in this section. He's been caught around these islands once more, showing a key area that you want to be focused on, and this area down here once again providing massive action. Through a few spots in deeper water around the 2 central islands again, and around the little island, back in one of my favorite spots again. I mention it, I love fishing around the dock here. That's showing a couple of key points for Des to be captured, and again on this point here there has been a record of him being taken, and this little point here as well, interestingly enough, sticking out as well. Some high intensity captures around these points, and then onto the main stretch again down in this area, a few records there, and once again up here and into this channel, on the entry to this channel, Des has been captured. Onto Dollar Bill, again bridge action, and you can see towards the top end of the lake a few different spots where he has been captured previously, and again up in here, moving down through these islands, this key area once more, this central point, this deep water, providing once more action. I'm going to have to check that out. I don't think I fished this spot before, so this is looking to be a very interesting spot in deep water offshore. Very much an area for contention. I'm going to definitely check that out. Around this point and along here again, providing action. No surprise, these kind of very similar spots popping up over and over. seen these spots as well. Some high intensity around here for Dollar Bill, so if you haven't caught him already, perhaps try these two areas. And again, these other spots that we're seeing continue to be areas where Dollar Bill can be caught alongside, of course, some of the other fish. Hercules then, the smallmouth. Again, action around both sides of the bridge on this corner here. Nothing towards the very top. These islands playing a key point, these little kind of channels that run through and in between. Prime bass areas once again. Up here there's some intensity. Back in this area once more. These key spots again. Really again a continuation. We're seeing a good pattern of the same spots in Guntersville being areas that you want to be looking at. This is where I actually got Hercules. So again, one of my favorite spots there. Pulled some really super good bass out of there, and Hercules recently once again was in my bag just a short time ago. Interestingly enough, he's been caught down in this channel as well, so being a smallmouth, if you want to catch more smallmouth, perhaps check out this kind of further point down here. This might be something for you to look at. A couple of other points showing here, and then back on the main river. Once again, this point here being an area of contention, and once more in this spot. Next we take a look at Pandora. The lower side of the bridge seems to be where Pandora's been caught before, around the corner of the bridge up here, and interestingly enough, record of being captured up here. I don't know if you can see that on the zoom in, not so clear up in this point once more. A bit of a spread down here of where Pandora's been caught, but once again high activity in this point. This really seems a massive point of action around here. I think this video is going to be going out in time for the upcoming tournament, so if anyone's watching this and looking for spots where to fish, I think maybe some people are going to be keying in on this area. A lot of offshore action again of areas where Pandora's been caught. Some very similar spots we've already been taking a look at around these two central islands, and this little island here again being an area to take a look at. Again, that point there, and a few other little spots. And then back onto the main river. We haven't seen so much here. This little point being a place to perhaps check. No action down here. And once more back up in the main river with, I think the barrier kind of runs across this point, so kind of right on the edge. And also you can see Pandora's been caught here. We move on to the heat. Nothing to do with Robert De Niro or Al Pacino this time, but up by the bridge again, both sides, there's been some action up in this point as well towards the top end of the map, providing action once more around these islands. Continues to be an area of interest. Again, this massive key spot here. Just look at the action and the amount of times the heat has been caught in this area. This has been a well-known spot for quite some time, and this looks to be a good one for heat. So I don't fish here so much, but I haven't caught the heat so far, and that's no reference to any kind of jungle disease. But I'll be taking a look at that, I think, in the hope of perhaps securing the capture of him. The two islands are the single island, once again spots to take a look at, and interestingly enough down here again, and a few kind of offshore deep water spots. There is interesting, and up here. That moves us on to our last fish then for Guntersville, which is the Ogre. And you can actually see there's some heat going on up this top end of the map. Interesting, the heat's been caught there on multiple occasions. This spot once more providing an area all around the bridge action again, and underneath the bridge a little bit more this time for him. This area once again providing key action for the fish. Again, you see a continuation, a pattern as the fish kind of cycle around the map and between these kind of same spots. A bit of variation here. This spot once more, again around this point. The central islands being a good one for Ogre and the single island. And then we finish off by moving around the channel into the main river. This point here actually giving off a bit of heat is quite interesting. So there's a bit of action around there. And then again onto the main river, both sides, a little bit in the center in that deep water. And interestingly enough, not only this spot, but right up by the barrier as well, has been an area where Ogre has been caught. That's going to be it for this one, guys. These are the heat maps for the legendary fish on Lake Guntersville. Competition coming up in a couple of weeks, so I hope to see you. I'm going to be taking part in that one. I hope to see you in there too. Try out some of these spots. I really hope that they help. But these are the catch reports from Dovetail Games and the spots where you can be finding your legendaries at the time of recording. So try these out. Let me know what you think. That's going to be it for this one. Thanks for the support and peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.